Yo, what's up, man? I I've been meaning to do this video for a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Um, yeah, this is one of the ones I was kind of been wanting to do, but it's just like I don't know. When I go to do it, I'm just like, eh. I've been kind of lazy lately, not putting out as many videos as I had been before, but I'm gonna try and get better at that because I don't have a ton of subscribers. I barely have any, but as long as somebody watches this video, at least one person, then I'll keep making them. And then some of the cats I know personally were like, "Yo, man, when you got one another video?" So I'm making another video. So excuse me. I just jump right into what this one is about. Um, so I'm gonna mention it and then I'm gonna preface it to kind of get things ready so I can present it. But basically, this video is about you gotta in the whole aspect of learning game. One of the things you do is you learn, right? And you learn from a lot of things around you. In this case, we talk about women because when we say game, we really mean a game of life. But in this context, we talk about the game of life in regards to women. So in life, you utilize other situations and examples to learn things to, apply to your life to make your life better or to learn to acquire wisdom, knowledge, both. But anyway, in this case, we talk about how you should learn from the women in your life. A lot of guys, it's weird how people don't pay attention. A lot of things about game is just being mindful, astute, and attentive to certain things. You watch for things. You become mindful, and you kind of start to realize certain things, and it kind of builds off of itself. You learn one concept, and then you see, something else because you knew that one concept that kind of leads you to another, and so on and so forth. And then the other thing, though, at least in regards to this situation, is just noticing patterns and noticing similarities and stuff like that. So, like I said, you want to learn about women from the women around you. Utilize them as resources. When I was young, I had aunts, I had stepmoms, I had my sister and my mom that were the most consistent women in my life. But I had a cousin too, and I don't know. I might talk about her, but I don't know. We'll see. Um, but I learned a lot from watching my sister and my mom, and I learned a lot even now from my daughter, right? And the thing about it, people say stuff like, women aren't the same. Yes, they are, and it's not the same as far as like their personalities, but they have a lot of similar behaviors. Again, I'm going to preface it and kind of make it relatable for some people who might not get it. It's the same way men are the same. I mean, on a grand scale, not everyone, but a lot of men were protectors. Were more logical than emotional in certain contexts. Um, let's see. I don't know. We like to win. We have a degree of bravado. We believe in strength. We try to tolerate things. There's just certain things that kind of go along with even default masculinity. Even for guys that aren't really that masculine, there's certain things that men do. Another thing about men, we're about respect. We generally respect each other because we understand that destruction is right around the corner. Okay, now that I said that, back to women. Women are the same way. Women do a lot of things. Women are indirect, you know, um, and you'll see that aspect of indirect, behavior applied to so many different things. And when you watch things like a woman wanting something instead of coming right out and asking for it, she's gonna, as people say, use her wiles or whatever, her feminine wiles or whatever. She's gonna, because and that's the thing. Women know that they can't be necessarily direct with men because men are stronger than them. So when a woman has to interface with a man, in a lot of cases, she has to do it in a way where she uses a little bit more tact. And even if it means, in that situation, that tact is her using what she has, like the women you said back in the days. We gotta use what we have to get what we want. But, so that's one thing I wanted to touch upon is, just one example of how women are like that. But I have a couple things I'm gonna actually touch upon in a video, that I kind of specifically wrote down. Um, let's see. So the first is that in a lot of situations, and I want to say this, in dealing with women, whether you're dating, a relationship, whatever it may be, situationship as people say, marriage, it all applies because women are still going to be women regardless of the context, like I just said a couple seconds ago. And in the context of relationships, it's the same thing. You're going to see women be indirect, like I just talked about a second ago. But you're also going to see, a few of these things I talked about. The first is that women don't always divulge every detail about stuff. It's a good chance that women don't divulge a lot of details. And I saw my sister and mother doing this. And the thing about it that's so weird with game is that you don't really think about stuff because you see a situation, but then you don't connect the dots. I'm just like, I don't know, my mom and sister are like this. I'm thinking, oh, my mom's like this and she does this a lot, and my sister's like this, and they get together. But then you're like, wait a minute. I see other women do the same thing. For example, I look at my sister and my mom and how they would behave. I see the same exact thing with my daughter and my ex-wife. They get together and the patterns of behavior are the same. They collude more about things, and even in situations where my daughter may have an issue with something, she gets with her mom, and then you see the things that she might have complained to me about. They're not at the forefront anymore because they're in that mode and in that zone, and it's something that only they are kind of privy to. My mother and sister did the same thing. They would hide so many things from me when I was little, so I never really thought about that. But then over time, I'd be dealing with women and I'd be like, man, or I'd even see my sister doing things and I wouldn't think about what what the deal was, or I wouldn't. Again, a lot of times we just don't make the connections, and a lot of time I didn't. But I would see my sister be secretive, or I'd see my sister not divulge information, or I might see my sister, engage in a pattern of behavior that I just would see her do or see my mom do. But again, I wouldn't think about it until I started to see women that I dealt with do the same things. But what I'm saying is, if you're not the most experienced guy with women, watch the women around you. Watch your sister, watch your cousins, watch the girls at work. All these things you're going to see a lot of similarities in as far as behavior. Another thing I'll touch upon since I'm rambling a lot. David Goggins had a really cool thing he was talking about. He was talking about dealing with people, and he was like, you can't always judge people, because you can't always, what's the word? Basically, he was just basically saying you don't know what people will do in certain situations, but context dependent, you do know what a person's gonna do. Like when a person's starving, they're gonna behave a particular way, they're gonna react a certain way. And he was just saying that people are predictable. You might not always be able to judge a person, but they're pretty predictable because a lot of situations will cause people to react the same based upon the human condition. So anyway, women are the same way though. Let's see. The second thing is women are secretive at times. So, and I kind of touched upon this just now, but again, use my sister and my mom as examples. I would see that with them too. They would be secretive, about a lot of things. And there's one thing I wanted to mention, but I won't mention in the video because you'd be like, but there was something that they both are really secretive about, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, why would you not tell me this type of situation? It was something that was of monumental importance for me to know that, but they withheld it from me for the longest time. And you're thinking to yourself, why would you do that? And this is another thing too. Like a lot of times as men, we're always looking for the rationale, and I'm sitting there like, well, if you love me and you this and you that, then why would you? It's because women are gonna be women. I was thinking about this a couple of seconds ago before I made this video. Women are gonna be women, and in a game of dealing with women, right? You have to understand, and a true player knows this. Mac, ladies, man, any of them. You don't take anything a woman does personally. You just can't, because no matter what, women are gonna be women. It don't matter how you feel about it, how angry it makes you, how much you try to talk her out of doing something, or women are gonna always be women. So you have to accept that. So in the case of my mother and them withholding from me, being information from me and being extremely secretive, I was devastated in a lot of regards. And I was young, so I was a kid. But now I look back and I'm like, yeah, it was still effed up. But I mean, what are you gonna do? I can sit here and trip about it, but they were just being women in the moment. Which is another thing about women is women live in the moment. But that's another discussion. I'm just saying they were being themselves and being women in that moment because of a situation and they reacted and acted the way that they felt. You know, it's just the way it goes. There's nothing I could do about that. I can sit back and be mad about it, taking it personal, or I can just be like, well, I mean, I lived through the situation and stuff like that, but I utilize that as a lesson and an example of what to watch for when I deal with women. And when I've gone back and done postmortems on my dealings with my sister and my mom, it's helped me a lot. It really has. I mean, it's just like you kind of like, oh, you start to kind of connect the dots and you're like, man, I can't believe I didn't see that. Or I can't believe I didn't even realize that. Or I can't believe I didn't understand it in the way that it really, was at that moment, Again, because I was in the moment too. And your perspective is different. So women gonna be women, man. The other thing I'll say is this, and it kind of touches upon what I just said too, but I'm still gonna state it. When it comes to dealing with women, no man is exempt. Again, you can be a pimp who is very experienced with dealing with the psyche of women. It doesn't matter. Women still can be a woman to him too. You can be a husband, a father, right? Me and my daughter. My daughter's said and done things. She never disrespect me, but she's done things, where I'm just like, you can't make a female not be a female. So even as Pops is someone that she loves as much, she still is gonna be a young lady to me. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing anyone can do. You just have to understand, accept it, and then figure out. Here's the thing. What I said a couple seconds ago about not taking things personal. You can't. Women are going to do what they do. And as a dude who's a player, Mac, ladies, man, whatever, dude in the game, what you do is you look at the situation and then you say, is it something I can deal with or something I can't deal with? It's as simple as that. Utilize the logic that you have as a man to evaluate and deal with circumstances with women, because it's never not going to be that way. A lot of guys are like, I just want a cool girl. Fuck, man, we all want a cool woman. But a cool woman is not a woman who's not going to be a woman. So you have to get that out your mind. If you want someone that's cool like you're going to have to date another dude, man. And like I said before when I mentioned that, that's some other shit. We don't talk about that kind of shit on this channel because that's not the life I live. That's not the shit. That's some other shit. So I said all that to say this. You just have to accept women as they are. Do you have to accept a woman in your life that you don't like, behavior-wise or personality-wise? Absolutely not. But you can't be like, I just want a woman to do that. Bro, you need to accept a woman being a woman. Because if you don't, then you wonder why you can't get any success dealing with women. Because you're too busy, like I said before in other videos, you're too busy going against the way that women are. You got to just accept it. Okay, the last thing is this. I just kind of have like a miscellaneous thing. Like you're going to see miscellaneous things like how a woman that treats certain dudes. Oh, well, she treats this dude like this, but then she treats that dude like that. Or she behaves this way with this person, but she behaves that way. Here's one really good one, another one with my sister. She still does this all the time. And even my mother talks about it, but she does the same thing too. One of the things that my sister does a lot is when she has a situation where she wants something, again, being indirect, she'll use a particular voice. She'll talk with me one way, but then when she wants something, she'll almost have like almost like a whiny voice. That's like her voice of she wants something. So I can be somewhere and I can be around the corner, not even know what my sister's talking about. Hear her talking one way, I can hear the tone of her voice. And then if I hear it change, I automatically know that she wants something. She's in a mode where she's trying to get something. And another thing is women a lot of times, especially when a woman likes you, she'll try to talk, she'll try to make her voice sound more feminine. I fucking love it, But that's what women do, Sometimes they'll try to sound more feminine to be more persuasive, to be more, to get what they want. The girl I used to be with, the last relationship I was in, whenever I would hear her on the phone talking to clients, she da-da-da-da-da. But then whenever I would call her, she would, hi, I loved it though. I fucking loved it because I was like, look at her making her voice, she wants to sound a certain way from me. She's like, oh, it's him. Let me be like this. And I'm like, cool. I fucking loved it. And that's the thing though. It's just, one of miscellaneous examples of things that women do. You know? Um, Women are gonna, okay, another miscellaneous thing, and I'm gonna end the video in a second. Women will try you in some cases. But if you see a woman try you, then that indicates that she doesn't respect you, and it's a bad indication. If a woman's trying you, then that's pretty much, that's an indicator. Get rid of her. Get rid of her, or you leave a situation, whatever. You know, it's another one. Sometimes women will try to be slick and get stuff past you, or they're gonna try and see if they can, like, they'll do something, and act like they didn't know, but they did know. You just got to be watching for it. My daughter used to do the same thing. My daughter, I may have mentioned this in the video before, she would see me eating something and she would want a piece and she'd be, oh, that looks good, Dad. Her being indirect, right? She wouldn't just come out directly because she was sometimes a little too intimidated to ask me because she didn't want to hear me say no. Another thing, women fear rejection, but I guess I have to do another video talk about more other stuff, but she's fearing a rejection. So what would she do? She would go around, oh, that, she'd be roundabout. Oh, Dad, that looks good. And then I'll go, oh, you want some? But then I picked up on it. And I'm like, I'm like, Bookie, if you want something, I need you to ask for it. So, this is kind of like a mismatched video, but in closing, I'm going to say, watch women at your job, watch your girl, learn your girl, that way you get an idea how to deal with her better. Watch your mom, watch your sister, watch your aunts, and I didn't even talk about my aunts, and there's more I could talk about with that, but learn from women, watch women, and then you utilize what you've learned. It's like data collection. You collect, a good amount of data, and then you sift through it, and then you evaluate it and sift through it at the same time. But then you figure out and you glean what you can from it. You figure out how can you utilize this to better, you know, go through whatever your dealings may be, whether your relationship, your marriage, meeting girls, how to navigate dealing with women in general, what I'm saying, conversations. So watch women and learn these things, there's plenty of things that I didn't talk about that you might see, but utilize that data, what I'm saying, and take that cadre of data and figure out how to better apply it to your life and make your application a game better. So, all right, man, my phone's about to die, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Look, man, like, share, subscribe, and I got to do some stuff to get some of the videos more out there, and I will, but yeah, watch the video. Hope you get what you can get that's going to be beneficial from it. And like I always say, man, be the man because you are the man. All right, peace.